Okay, the episode starts off with Leon and Lemuel at a juke joint, I guess it is. They listen to jazz music, just chilling, cooling. And Lemuel like his jazz, and so does Leon. So they listen to the jazz music, and yeah, it's a police raid. And Lemuel and Leon, they try to leave out the back door where they got caught and got beat up by the police and arrested. And coming out, we see the Fada family looking from afar, because this is all the works of the Fada family. Remember, he told Otis to show his muscle, to make them see that they not only fucking with the Fada family, they fucking with City Hall and the cops. Okay, now over to Lloyd, and he's meeting up with Kellerman, and he's exchanging the guns, and he told them, like, remember, guns for loyalty. So the Kellerman guy was like, well, who the hell you fighting? Who the hell you going to war with? The Itas? The Italians. And Lloyd said, well, it depends. And Dr. Senator just tells them to stay by the phone. They'll be calling. And we see that Lloyd also tell one of his people that they taking over the funeral home. And if the Smutney give up those dykes, they'll let them live. And as Lloyd is telling his people that, the police bust in the door. And to no surprise, it's Otis. And they come in, knocking shit over. Just being plain bitches. And Otis picks up the bag of money that Lloyd had on the floor and claimed it for his own. So they were stealing as well. Lloyd says to Otis, he like, I heard about you. I heard about you in the war, in the mine sweeps. Something went wrong in the field, and Toya man got blown up. Boom. Boom. And you just gave up, and you just laid in the grass. And then your captain come along, and he asks you, was everything clear? And you say, yes, boss, everything is clear. And then, boom. So we see how Twitchy got his twitch, his nervous condition. And that happens often with soldiers that come home from fighting the war. It can be very traumatic. So Otis asked Lloyd, like, did you ever fight in the war? Lloyd's reply was, now why would I fight for a country that want me dead? Boom. Otis tells Lloyd, Justo said, stick to the deal. So Lloyd now know that this is the works of Justo and the Fada family. And as Officer Otis is walking out, we see U.S. Marshal Duffy being nosy. His name should be Nosy too, because he nosy and he see what he want to see as well. At the hospital, we see Orietta getting agitated with another patient. I guess this patient is going to be her next victim. Meanwhile, Arthritis is writing a letter to Orietta's boss. Thurman comes in her room and interrupts her. He also reminds her that her birthday is tomorrow. She will be 17. Hey, Dad, what's Laundrum? Thurman explains to her that it's a painkiller, it's very potent, and it can be dangerous. He asks her why. Arthritis says, well, I seen that Nurse Mayflower home. And Thurman says, well, she is a nurse, but she shouldn't be keeping it inside the house. Arthritis asks Thurman, where is Aunt Zelmir? Thurman says, you don't need to know. And Arthritis gives him that look like daddy. And just like that, Thurman lets Arthritis know where Zelmir and Swanee stand. Thurman is like, listen, Nurse Mayflower seems nice and all, but you don't need to be hanging over there. We got real precarious situation here, living outside the law and all. And I think she poisoned that pie on Thanksgiving. Steer clear of her. And he tells Arthritis good night and walks out the room. Arthritis then gets right back up, and she finished her letter to Dr. Harvard about Orietta. Back at the hospital, now we see Orietta banging her head on the wall because the patient is just driving her crazy. Like, he is definitely her next victim. Okay, over at the Fada residence, We had Satchel and Rabbi in the attic, and Satchel was doing his lessons, and Rabbi's helping him. Josto comes in and he like, we got him. We got him on the run last night. I think he may go back home. This thing that's going on is almost sorted out. It won't be no war, nothing to fight. He will go back home. And he's talking about Gaetano. So Rabbi asks, would you? Italy is over. We turned it into a toilet. This is the land of plenty. Would you go back home? Jocelyn says, well, maybe he can pick another state, like Cleveland. Rabbi like, no later than next week, maybe earlier. 10 to 20 guys from the old country going to come down. Gaetano's going to tell you, oh, I thought maybe you can use the help. But make no mistake, they're going to be his men. And they're going to take over. Josto asks Rabbi, so what do we do? If I was Rabbi, I would have been like, oh, it's we now? But Rabbi said, well, me saying it isn't going to make it any easier for you to do. And we all know what that means. That means that Josto has to take out Gaetano. Rabbi says, look, you either divide them or they will multiply. Capiche? Josto leaves the room, and when he does, Rabbi goes over to Satch and tells him to be ready. When the shooting starts, you got to be ready. We out of here. We leaving. After Ryder takes her ass down to the Perry Hotel to see her auntie Zelmir. I'm not going to lie, I would have to because Zelmir seems like a cool-ass auntie. Swanee asks after Ryder did she have something to eat because they've been sitting up in that room on trying to, stay out the public view because they are outlaws. After Ryder like, I think I got some pretzels in my bag. And Zelmir like, oh, baby, it's your birthday. Happy birthday. Shit, I wish that I could be there and celebrate and have some cake. But this drink right here, that'll do. Pouring after Ryder a shot of liquor. After Ryder like, no, thank you. Drinking clouds the mind. And she asks her auntie Zelmir, if you seen something wrong and you can help the situation, what would you do? Aunt Zelmir was like, nothing. I wouldn't do nothing. Is it because you're a criminal? Ryder asked. And Swanee was like, girl, we ain't no criminals. We outlaws. Ryder was like, well, tell me the goddamn difference. Zelmir gives Ryder some game. She says, look, criminals play by the game. So Ryder like, what game? She said, the game of life. They work, they bank, and if they manage to stay out of trouble long enough, they even think about going legit. Now, the outlaw, on the other hand, we reject the game, and it's nothing organized about our crime because our crime is our freedom. And Swanee over there talking about no rules. Zelmir continues by saying, if it's nothing broken, then it's nothing to be fixed. Swanee said, all we want to do is live while we're alive and die with our guns in our hand. It is what it is when it comes to them because, this is the life of an outlaw. And that's what they are. They are who they are. Zelmir looks at Atharita and says, you're a bit of an outlaw. That's why your mother tried to keep me away. She could see it right in your eyes. Atharita says, nah. So Swanee asks, well, what are you, a convict or a square? Atharita said, I'm none of those things. So Zelmir said, so what are you then? She said, I'm Atharita Pearl Smutney. I know that's right. I told y'all, Atharita got a good head on her shoulder, and she gonna make it. She don't have time to be playing Thelma and Louise with her auntie and her auntie girlfriend. No, ma'am. All right, y'all, let's go on over to Cannon House. So Lloyd just walks in his home and, his wife is there frustrated because she has to go bail her oldest son out. And she's feeling overwhelmed with her baby boy gone, then her oldest. And then her husband. So she feel like they're all in the streets and she's going to lose them to the streets. She has her mother over there, sitting over there co-signing as she's nagging Lloyd about her children. She has her baby boy still with the Italian, and then her oldest just got busted in the raid. And not only is her kids involved, but her husband is involved. She's feeling like she's going to lose them all to this game, to the street game. Lloyd is trying to calm her down and let her know that Dr. Senator is on top of it. And not only is the son there, but he has other guys there too. And that they're on top of getting all of them out. Lloyd's wife is on 1,000 as a mother should be. So Lloyd like, look, do you like the motherfucking clothes you got on your bed? Do you like the food that you eat? How about you, your majesty? He was talking to his mother-in-law who was sitting over there co-signing, talking about every time his wife would say something. You like the view from your room? You like the fancy blankets that's on your bed? Where exactly do you think all of this come from? He's asking them. Then he says the razor's edge. So what, we supposed to get rich and stay rich? Like, how the fuck we supposed to do that? By saying our fucking prayers? At this exact moment, Lloyd is absolutely correct. You cannot have all the riches and everything. For what does the saying says? To much is given, much is expected. Also, to much is given, much is tested. Especially when you're dealing with streets. You know, you're going to have these bumps in the road. Oh, it's all good when the money flowing in. But then when shit get real and you're making real sacrifices, oh, no, this is wrong. I check out. You can't just do that, honey. Lloyd had to remind her everything that I do and sacrifice is for this family. Now take your coat off and go get me some goddamn tea. Lloyd asked Mama, can I get up? Down at the jailhouse where the cannon crew has been booked, Justo walks up in with his crew. And he said some shit. He said some real ass shit that was a message for the people. He said, you know why America loves a crime story? Because America is a crime story. And when we hear a crime story, who do we root for? Not the victim. We root for the person with the gap. America loves a taker. Unless they look like you. When a person like me get caught doing a crime, they just look at us like, oh, he's just doing a crime to get ahead. But that same very person could look at you and all they do is see a criminal. And that's the very reason that you guys are going to lose. Me, I can take all the money and the pussy I want, and I can still run for president. But you guys, it's always going to be the ropes. Tell your boss it's time to surrender. And Josto and his crew leave out. Rabbi stays behind and he asks the crew, he like, look, what Lloyd is going to do? This is about his boy. Is he going to settle or he going to go to war? So one of the crew members said, look, the devil lives in the past. Ain't no going back to the way things was. It's too late for all that. Rabbi tells the crew, well, tell him that I'm going to keep his son safe no matter what. So another guy said, well, just bring the boy home. We'll take care of him. Rabbi said, nah, y'all all going to die. Okay, now let's go over to Officer Otis' house. Marshall Duffy is knocking on Otis' door. Otis is like, this man is a pain in my goddamn ass. Duffy come barging in talking about rough night. I heard you did a raid last night with some real bad guys. You should have called me. You know we partners and all. Otis like, motherfucker, we ain't partners. We also learned that Officer Otis has OCD. The way his figurines are all laid out in the positions that he want them. And when Duffy went to reach for the photo of his wife, how agitated he got. No, don't touch that. We learned that the lady in the picture was Otis' fiance. And when he was away in the army, while he was in the fields, he received the message that let him know that she was murdered. She was raped, and yeah, they killed her. So that story coordinates with Lloyd's story about the when he was on the fields, because Otis tell us that he was the best soldier for the job. He had a precise way of clearing the minefields, and whereas though the other soldiers didn't, it would always go wrong. And when he received the letter, he just laid there on the field, and he was like, he laid there for hours. And, that's when from Cannon, we found out that the captain was killed by a mine in the field because he couldn't get himself together to do his job because of the information that he just received. Otis snaps out of it, and he like, "Is this something that you need, man?" Marshall Duffy like, "Look, I was saying my prayers last night, and God told me to shake the tree. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. I thought that my partner would like to come along with me." Otis like, "No, I can't. I'm not up to it. You've been doing this work for 25 years. You know what? You'll be good at it. You'll be okay. You'll be just fine." Daffy like, "Okay, well, I'll let you know if something come out of my day." Okay, next up we got Calamita and Gaetano. Dumb and Dumber. Gaetano get his fat ass out the car and he slip on the ice. It's a young teenage boy having a break outside of the diner that they're going to go into to have something to eat. The young boy sees Gaetano fall, and he's just dying laughing, which I think was a little bit too much, because naturally when you see someone laugh and you're an adult, or I'm going to say someone older, 16 on up, before you bust out laughing, you make sure they okay. So that part just seemed out of place and phony to me. Anyhow, Calamita goes over there and get ready to, put his muscle on the little boy. And Gaetano like, no, it's okay. This is what you motherfuckers do when I come here. When somebody fall, you laugh. It's funny. And he's laughing hysterical with the kid. He like, everything is just fine. So they all goes into the diner. Gaetano and Calamita is having some coffee. Mind you, the white store owner looks like he don't want to welcome the Italian guests. He's rude and uninviting. On another note, Calamita is putting shit inside of Gaetano's head, instigating. Lloyd over there trying to scare us like it's Halloween, and we're kids with trick or treat. So the white man from the bar, he comes over and rudely slams Justo's drink on the table. Calamita keep going on about how they have to kill the cannon crew. Gaetano takes a drink of his coffee and he spits it immediately out. He asks the young boy, come here. What the fuck is this?" So the young boy nervously was like, "It's coffee. What you asked for?" Baby Gaetano lose it. He like, "You know what's wrong with your country? What's wrong with America? Your Jesus looks like a lady. Everybody think they gonna be president one day, so nobody wants to do the job that they already have." He snatches the boy broom and he was like, "In Italy, if they tell me to sweep, we sweep. If I tell you to make coffee, you make coffee like Michelangelo." So Calamita like, "Boss, come on, sit down, leave the kid alone." Gaetano just continues. "So you think it's funny when I slip on ice? But if you was doing your job, I wouldn't slip. Now your lady Jesus tell you that I'm going to turn the other cheek? Well, I'm from Italy, where they had to nail Jesus to the cross. Otherwise, he'll come down off their cross and kill every motherfucker in Jerusalem." Gaetano pulls out his pistols and pop, 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 pop. He kills both the bartender and the kid that was outside laughing at him when he slipped on ice. All right, over at the Smutneys, we have Mr. and Mrs. Smutney. They're preparing for Ethelrita's birthday celebration. And you could see the brow has a lot on her mind, and she's decorating the cake. So there's a knock at the door, and it's Lloyd, and he has Zero with him. I'm like, okay, cool. That makes it better because, he's not going to do nothing much with the kid around. So they let Lloyd come in and they all go to the kitchen table and they're just all sitting around and Thurman like, all this is for my daughter. She turned 17 today. And how's everything going on with you, Mr. Cannon? Lloyd like, it's been a long night, Thurman. Don't try my patience. So the bro like, look, whatever's wrong, whatever it is, we can fix this. So Lloyd like, you pay me back with my own money. You robbed my place and your proxies killed a couple of my guys. You turn around and pay me back with my own money. Well, that's 10 for balls and 0 for brains. And I agree, like this was so the bro like, look, whatever's wrong, whatever it is, we can fix this. So Lloyd like, you pay me back with my own money. You robbed my place and your proxies killed a couple of my guys. You turn around and pay me back with my own money. Well, that's 10 for balls and 0 for brains. And I agree, like this was so bad. Like Thurman didn't think that for a second. So 0 like, hey, I like cake. Boy, like not 0, like you, like the number 0. So the bro nervously like, I got some cookies. You want some cookies? I'm going to go get your son some cookies. So Lloyd like, sit down. Lloyd like, does this look like my son? Tell them what your name is. So 0 like, 0 Fada. So Lloyd like, yeah, I traded my son to my enemy. My wife cries every night and I sleep like a baby. I'll do whatever it takes to win. Lloyd tells the bro to get the boy a piece of cake. And he also tells them like, look, the business is mine. You signing over the deed tomorrow afternoon. The bro was trying to plead, and she like, please, Mr. Cannon. Lloyd like, it's too late. Now we're at the point where we're like, whatever you want, Mr. Cannon. Please don't kill me, Mr. Cannon. He also tells them like, yeah, you gonna tell me where your sister at and her dyke girlfriend. You gonna tell me where they at. I've been asking around about her, and they said that she been, around here. Her name's Zelmir Roulette. What a name. The bro like, well, what are you gonna do? Lloyd like, whatever the fuck I want to do. So Thurman sitting over there like, this is all my fault. I should have asked where they got the money from in the first place. And this is my first time owing, and I just didn't put it together. Lloyd like, look here, this is the rules. You gonna tell me what I want to know, or I'm gonna paint this room for your daughter to come in here and find you like this. So they're left with no other choice but to tell where Zelmir is. The Smutneys, they have their family and a business, and Zelmir came in there and turned their lives all the way around, and they have to pay the price for it. It's just so fucked up. And for Lloyd to, take it out on them like that's their family, but still they didn't ask for that. That just was really dumb. Okay, so over at the school, at the writer principal calls her to the office, and when she get there, and the principal is like, all my years I never had a U.S. Marshal come to see a student. So I'm thinking like, well, and even in 1950, like what was the law on that? Because I would have immediately got on the phone and called a guardian. A U.S. Marshal can't just come inside your child's school and question them. They are out of line. So the principal leaves U.S. Marshal Duffy and Ethelrida to talk. Duffy tells Ethelrida, I was thinking about you. Ethelrida like, me? Yes, you're a straight-A student, speak foreign language. And your auntie, on the other hand, she drink cough syrup blenders that ends up killing people. And he goes on telling Ethelrida how she killed a pregnant woman and her husband murdered them cold. And he says, oh, you just thought she was in jail for littering, huh? Ethelrida's face looked horrified at the news that he's telling her. He continues talking about Swanee and how Swanee killed the father of three that was a football coach. And he's telling Arthurita, like, these are the people that you're protecting. He says, I know that these are your family, and how color folks talking about, it's us, it's colors versus whites, and how y'all have to stick together. But you have to be a civilized person. You gotta act in a civilized manner. So after writer says civilized, Daffy like, yeah, that's what I said, civilized. So after writer tells him, you know that Africa was the birthplace of civilization, which means both your ancestors and mine came from the same green savanna. I got an A in anthropology, and that's factual. See, people gonna stop coming at the writer like she's your average Joe, child. She's not. She's very on point, and she know her shit. Like, she's very intelligent. And Daffy is taken back by that, and he's like, look, fascinating. I've been here for motherfucking 10 days missing my family, and I'm trying to find these motherfuckers, and you gonna tell me where they at, or you gonna get expelled. And that's what made the writer buckle down, because that's what she lived for, her education and bettering her future. So that kind of got her, and that made her, she felt like she had to tell where Zelmir was staying. And that's some dirty ass shit. That's why these motherfuckers don't need to be talking to no minors, because of the manipulation shit that they pull. So after writer like, sir, he like, oh, now it's sir. And we see right here that after writer feels as though she has no other alternative but to, tell where Zelmi and Swanee is staying. Okay, so now we have both Lloyd and Daffy looking for Zelmir and Swanee. And Lloyd finds them first. So they're chilling in the hotel, laughing, joking, kikiing. And Lloyd comes busting in the door, waving a full fold, talking about, okay, ladies, get dressed. Swanee like, fuck that nigga. If you gonna rape us, come on, hurry up and get this over with. He like, no, I ain't gonna rape and kill y'all. Y'all do better working for me. You guys owe me. Zelmir say, we ain't no whores. He like, I'm not looking for no whores. I'm looking for soldiers, invisible soldiers. Soldiers that the other side wouldn't even see coming. At the exact moment that this is taking place, Daffy is working his way upstairs to the girls. Zelmir tells Lloyd, look, we don't like bosses. And Lloyd say, you like bullets? Now we see Daffy has finally made it to the room door. And when he gets in there, Swanee and Zelmir done took off with Lloyd because they didn't want to get shot that day. Okay, over to Dumb and Dumber. They meet up with Dr. Senator at his local cafe that he likes to go to. Gaetano was sitting in the booth eating an ice cream sundae, and we have Calamita. I guess he's going to be doing the talking, sitting at a table with an empty chair waiting for Dr. Senator to come in and take a seat. So Dr. Senator looked kind of confused, like, what? He like, who am I talking to, you or you? So Calamita goes on this long-ass, empty-ass story talking about, an orphan in a box. And basically he was saying, the orphan in the box was me. And I'm going to tell you, motherfucker, ain't no monster on earth that's tougher than an orphan in a box. You just remember that. So Dr. Senator says, look, I'm going to give you some game on what I learned from your countryman, Machiavelli. He who wishes to be obeyed must learn how to command. Look at here. I don't know how y'all do it in y'all country, but in America, respect is earned. Now, your boy Abel, because y'all know I was saying Abel, E-ball the whole time. It's Abel. He said, your boy Abel, he earned my respect. You boys is a bunch of clowns. And he just started laughing right in front of their face. You boys are just some boys that's making a mess that one day I'm going to have to clean up. Dr. Center gets up. He gives Nadine the money for his coffee, and he walks out the door. Leaving Calamita and Gaetano sitting in the cafe. Dr. Senator is walking to his car. It just didn't feel right to me. I knew it. And we hear the bell jingle to the door at the cafe, like someone was coming out behind him. And when Dr. Senator turns around, he sees Calamita, who's pointing a gun at him. And Calamita just started banging at him and just putting holes through his body. And he also kills the driver, Dr. Senator driver. And I thought that Dr. Senator would last a little longer because he was so wise. Usually the ones that's wise, they hang in there for a minute. It's just sad. I really like Dr. Senator. And now we see Lloyd and the Cannon crew just up, looking at the situation, trying to figure out what happened and, looking at it like that's fucked up. And they had to leave Dr. Senator there, dead in the street, just looked abandoned because the police was coming. And that's where the story ends. Y'all, I'm going to try to hurry up and get these out. I know I'm late, and it seemed like I'll be dragging, but this be a lot. And it had the nerve. It was just a whole mess. But y'all like, comment, subscribe, talk to me. Tell me what you like about my reviews, what you don't like. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys later.